prime, that would be the choke normally, wouldn't it? But
prime is run the fuel pump.
I see.
So we'll run that for a few seconds.
Is that enough?
No, leave it running for a sec. That'll do.
Yep. Comes on, prime mag's on. Should we get the headsets on first, or should we...
Can do if you want. So turn mags on. Clear prop. There you go. We didn't need any choke after all.
Nope.
Okay, as soon as engine started, always check the oil pressure. Make sure we've got oil pressure.
Yeah. Okay. So check oil pressure. Yeah, we've done that. Full and free movements. So yeah. Yep. So left. We want that one up and that one down. The way you want that one up. Left down, yeah. Yeah.
Just show you something else when you're doing the elevator check. Some aircraft you can't see the elevator, so if you just watch the nose, look, when you've got airflow over the elevator, you can actually you can nod it and see that is going up. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, hatches and harnesses secured, you're strapped in, aren't you?
I am all strapped in and doors secure, thank you.
Yeah. No loose objects, everything's in there, isn't it? Sensible readings. Yeah, altitude, speed, everything where you'd expect it to be.
Yeah, so just start from left to right, altimeter's set, we don't expect the speedo, obviously nothing on there, we've got the rev set, engine and, radio and transponder are on, radio's on the correct frequency. And then you can see fuel pressures in the middle. We've got oil pressure. We're waiting for oil temp, which won't take long. And then this is coming up as well, and battery's charging nicely. So methodically from left to right. The other one that people forget about is compass. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know north is that way. And that's giving us a northeasterly reading, and that's about right because north, east. Yeah, it's about right.
Yeah. Okay. Engine. Choke off, we didn't have the choke, did we? Temperatures and pressures, we've just checked those, haven't we?
We have. So with the choke, I always just make sure visually and touch it to make sure it's off.
Okay. I haven't had it on, so I imagine it comes out like the brake, does it?
It does, yeah, exactly. It looks just like that. And be aware, it's easy when you're flustered to grab for that as the brake instead of that, because it looks very similar.
And it feels similar if you're not looking at it, I imagine. Okay, so brake on, 3000 RPM.
Doesn't have to be exactly 3000, anywhere around there.
Just as long as it's settling. So you turn one off, don't you?
Yeah.
Make sure it drops.
Wait for it to stabilise, and then back on. And then the same again with the side.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then back off. Fuel taps. Open. Yeah. Contents, we checked that, didn't we? Nearly full. Flappers required. So the flap we come to, hang on a minute, don't tell me. So it's about a third, isn't it? So all the way forward, back. About there?
Yeah, so you look at it's about half flap, so it's actually marked there, look, half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so which is pretty much where you've put it.
Oh, right.
And then the trimmer should just fall naturally under your fingers from there as well.
Yeah, okay.
Again, just check the trimmer through the full range of motion as well there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about right. You can always correct this. The key thing with the trim is make sure it's not massively on or massively off. It's somewhere in the neutral position for takeoff. Otherwise, you'll have big stick forces when you're climbing out.
Okay. Flappers required. Trim, yeah, done that. Awareness. Weather's fine. Waiting for this to come on, but it seems to be quite busy today, doesn't it?
2%, that's not going to come on, so we'll
just have to
fly it out. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, it seems quite busy today though, so we should, or we might have quite a few.
Keep our eyes open, yeah, there's a few aircraft around.
Yeah. How do I make sure this is on properly?
Press that button.
Yeah. Doesn't seem to have made a great deal. Normally everything else goes silent, but
yeah, it's got a green light, so yeah.
I can hear you, like, but I can also hear the engine, and normally it's like dead.
That's off.
Yeah, alright. Yeah. Just wanted to make sure. Normally James tells me off because I forget to switch it on, so I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no
so
worries.
yeah, captain's brief.
Yeah, so we will take off on the northerly runway. So we'll taxi round, we'll backtrack, and we'll turn around and take off this way.
Yep.
Right turn out over towards Garstang, climb up to 1,800 feet, and then I'll give you instructions from there. We'll fly off down to the south a bit, do some stuff down to the south, and then we'll come back in. We'll come back in via Garstang again for an overhead join, standard overhead join, probably for the northerly runway, assuming that the wind doesn't change direction.
Yep.
And then we'll finish with a couple of circuits. As you say, there's quite a lot of aircraft around. There's a couple here waiting to go. There's also James up, and there's several aircraft flown out that will be coming back at some point, so we've just got to keep our wits about us, okay?
Okay.
We'll turn that on now so we don't forget. And if you are happy, we've got 50 degrees, so I'm happy for us to taxi.
Okay.
Russell traffic, Golf Charlie Kilo X-ray Mike, taxi to the hold for 02. So we'll come and we'll taxi down a little taxiway here, okay?
Little cut through. I can't see it really because of the
you just taxi down
glasses
it,
on.
you'll see.
Charlie Lima India Delta for radio check, please.
Bit lucky 5.
Okay, 5 on top.
Follow the tyre tracks, you'll see where.
Yeah.
You'll see it then.
Normally the glass is a bit longer, so it's
Yeah.
through there. Yeah. Yeah, all this is still a little bit alien to me, the steering with your feet and the throttle with your hand and all that.
It will come, it will come. Just need a bit there, just a bit, that's a bit. Come back from Greece, 40 degrees.
Whereabouts in Greece were you?
Roads.
Oh, right.
Yeah, my folks live out there.
Oh, do they? That must be nice.
It is, it is. So just have a good look round, make sure you can't see any other aircraft. Turn this way before we enter the runway, just turn to the right a bit so we can see final. And we're good.
Yeah, you happy, yeah?
Yeah. Russell traffic, Golf X-ray Mike entering and backtracking 02. So we'll track back to the first turning circle. We'll go from the first turning circle and we'll turn around.
This is completely different to how the runway normally looks because there's normally all kinds of grass either side. So
yeah. When you taxi, and just taxi with the stick fully back because it just takes the pressure off the nose wheel as well. Because you're using the aerodynamics on the back just to ease. If it bounces, it just eases it a little bit. Not a lot, but it all helps. When you get to the turning circle, if you turn and then line us up right in the middle on the centre line, facing the other way. Okay?
How are we now? I think we're slightly left. Is that better?
That's about the centre line, yeah.
Is it? Yeah. That was one thing I've been struggling with, is keeping, is not being over to the left.
Yeah, so it's not unusual.
This way we turn in, is it?
Just coming up to, you can just see the...
Golf Echo November Kilo Yankee taxiing into the hold for
see the turn, people have turned here. So if you go to round to the right, into it, you go into here, and then swing round to the left.
Okay.
Don't go too deep into it, that's it.
Okay.
Good?
Are you happy still, yeah?
Absolutely. You'll know if I'm not.
Always best to double check.
Absolutely. And then try and pick up the centre line. You've got the whiteboard at the end there, which will give you a clue. Good.
How's that? Is that okay?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so you strapped in, you're all happy.
Yep.
Flaps set, mags are on, temps and pressures all look good. We've got way more than 50 degrees now on the oil temperature, so that's key. Happy?
Yep. What do we look for? 5,000 RPM. What do we look for in the takeoff?
Yeah, exactly. For 5,000, around 5,000, and obviously climb out, I want no slower than 65 knots, okay?
65 we're aiming for, and 300 feet the flaps away, wasn't it?
Exactly that.
Yep.
Okay, happy?
Okay, yeah.
Russell traffic, Golf X-ray Mike, taking off 02. But.
Yeah.
Yep, let's go. stick a bit. Good.
Delta Yankee, taxiing to runway 02 for departure.
Little fire down there.
Yeah, I just saw that just as we were lining up.
Turn to the right.
Yes, please. Otherwise, we'll pick up those parachutes.
Oh, sorry about that.
Don't worry about it.
A little bit bumpy, is that thermal, is it?
Yeah, well,
Why it feels like that.
the sun's been out all day. You've got a lot of white fluffy clouds, which is, as you remember from your gliding, and keep turning to the right. Want to fly perpendicular, otherwise they'll get really worried.
Okay.
So aim for the hills there.
Yeah.
And if you climb up to, what did I say, 1,800?
Yeah.
1,800 feet. And don't forget on your climbing, if we're climbing for a long time, just to periodically just lower the nose and just check we're not flying into anyone else.
Okay.
So about every sort of 600-700 feet is fine.
Yeah.
Russell traffic, Golf X-ray mind defining the circuit to the east.
Yeah, it is quite bumpy.
Just raise the nose slightly, you'll find we'll climb a bit better.
Yeah.
At the moment we're using all that power for speed. Look.
Oh, I see, yeah.
$70 knots is a perfectly good climbing speed.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
and then we'll get away from some of this bumpy stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a river, right? The closer you are to the bottom of the river, the more turbulent the water. The closer you are to the bottom of the atmosphere, the more turbulent the air.
Okay.
Because there's more stuff in the way.
Yeah.
And then once we're, well, we are at 1,800,
well over,
if you could just level off now at whatever height we're at, and then trim for cruise speed.
Okay.
So I'd set the RPM for about 4,000 RPM, see what speed that gives you.
Okay.
And then trim accordingly so that we're not climbing or descending.
Okay, so.
Remember, use the horizon.
Yeah. Doing that thing with me leg again.
Relax.
Delta Yankee, taking off runway 02.
So, 70 knots, but we'll climb.
So lower the nose slightly then.
Yeah.
Leave the power. Just
Okay.
remember, speed is on the stick, right? And if you're climbing, right, well, you could just speed it, you just need to lower the nose and take some of that angle of attack off.
Yeah.
Okay, and convert that energy into speed. So lower the nose.
Yeah.
And then trim for it. Now the key with speed changes is patience. This aircraft's really aerodynamic. So if you make a change, you're going to have to wait several seconds for it to either speed up or slow down.
Yeah.
If you try and just make a change and then trim for it, you'll find yourself chasing it all the time and you'll be flying like this.
Okay. Right, okay, so we're around about 2,000, round about 80 knots, but is that alright, the 80 knots, 2,000?
Take your hands off. Take your hands off the stick.
I'm feeling fighting it a
There
touch.
you go then. That'll do. That'll do nicely.
So, dropping a little bit, but...
Well, there will be some rise and sinking air. You can remember, on straight level, pitch for bumps, right? So, if you've got little bits of bumpy air, just use the pitch to control it, little bits of forwards and backwards on the stick, alright? Yep. If you find yourself constantly descending or constantly ascending, that's a trend, then you need to change the power setting.
Right,
alright.
so...
80 knots is fine for these conditions because it's not too bumpy. So we'll make a turn to fly over Garstang. So you see that built-up area just to the right there? There, just the other side of the motorway, yeah. We'll fly over there. So if you make a gentle right-hand turn. The glider over there, two gliders.
That's where I was gliding, Bowling Forest.
They love it if you rattle through there at 2,000 feet in a microlight.
Is it this that's over the nose now?
Yeah, somewhere down here. I'm not being too precise, I just want to get us away from the hills for a bit, see if we can find some smoother air so you can practice your speed changes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a bit difficult when it's bumpy.
Yeah, it is quite bumpy, isn't it?
When was the last time you flew? Oh, sorry, I didn't check the dates in your logbook.
It was about 3 weeks ago.
About 3 weeks.
But it was all, and then 4 weeks before that, but it was all circuits, so it's been a while since I've been up high.
Okay.
And it's a completely different feeling, isn't it?
There's a lot less intense as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Circuit sessions a bit like going to the gym. It's mentally very tiring.
Yeah.
Right, so I want you to focus on maintaining that altitude I've given you, maintaining that speed.
Yeah.
Alright, not climbing or descending, because when you come to do your test, it's all going to be about precision.
Yeah.
So James will give you heights, speeds and headings to fly,
Yeah.
and you've got to fly them. So with your speed, you can be 5 miles an hour, 5 knots out either side, right? So if we've 80 knots, that's what I've said.
Yeah.
85 is fine, 75 is fine. With your height, you can be 50 feet out for as long as you want. So we're at 2060 now, so now we're beyond that.
Yeah.
So lower the nose a bit and convert that lift that we're getting into speed. So on a day like today, you're going to get rising air and sinking air. You remember that from your glider. We want to convert that rising air into speed.
I'm picking up speed, but
so reduce the throttle a little bit. So on a day like today, you'll have to manage the throttle and the height quite actively. So whereas with a glider pilot, you go, oh, lift, excellent, I'll climb.
Yeah, it's a pain in the arse, isn't it?
We don't want to do that. We want to maintain our altitude. So we'll use that for speed. So now we're back to 2000. So now you need to bring the power back, set the nose back to the cruise position. And you may need to actually raise the nose a bit because now we're in the sinking air. As you know, where there's rising air, there's also sinking air.
Yeah. And what we do, we were 80 knots where we were happy with.
80 knots was fine, yeah.
Okay. I feel like I'm all over the place here.
It's bumpy conditions, it's turbulent conditions, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So on your altitude, plus or minus 50 feet is fine.
So we're away from that again.
Okay, so add some power, raise the nose. Give some power. That's it. Don't be afraid to use the engine, that's what it's there for.
Yeah.
You can be up to 100 feet out on your altitude for up to 3 minutes, alright?
Okay.
But it's best to just be actively managing it on top of it, because that's what the examiner's going to want to see. I know you're a bit away from that, but that's what we're aiming for, right? And then headings plus or minus 15 degrees, so you've got compass there. Good luck if you can follow that to the degree, but plus or minus 15 degrees gives you a bit of scope there.
Yeah.
Tricky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, okay, so we are flying a heading of about, well, we'll call that 220 degrees. So maintaining this heading, plus or minus 15 degrees, and maintaining this altitude, I want you to reduce speed. Okay, I want you to reduce speed to 60 knots, maintain this altitude, maintain strength level, and maintain this heading. Okay?
Okay. So we're going on
so it's PAT, remember? Power, attitude, trim.
Yeah.
So do you know what RPM you need for 60?
Well, 3,600 is what we were looking at the circuit, but I don't know if it's any different once you're up.
Well, we've got full tanks, we'll give that a go, right? So set 3,600, because what you want to do is set a power that you think is about what you're going to need, right?
Okay.
So reduce power to 3,600, and then resist the pressure on the, add pressure on the stick to resist the nose dropping, and keep us level. And hold and wait, and wait, and wait, till everything's stabilised, and then wait a little bit more, and then trim.
Okay.
Now remember, the speed I've given you is a target speed. Plus or minus 5 miles an hour is 5 knots is fine, okay?
Right.
And you may find once we've slowed down that you need to add a bit more power in fact you have done already. That's to overcome the additional drag that we've increased. By increasing the angle of attack, we've added drag.
Yeah.
Remember we talked about that on the ground? That then is obviously why you need to add a bit more power.
Yeah.
So are you happy that we're trimmed out? We're going under a big cloud, that's why.
Right. Feels... Get it settled a little bit. I feel that... No, we're not trimmed. But we're climbing. So, shall I reduce the power?
Just wait a second, because you'll be descending in a second.
Okay.
Remember, nose position is everything, right? So if you've got a power setting that you know works with a certain nose position, then that will be straight and level. Now, the fact that we're going up at that all of a sudden, right, I would suggest that's to do with the ambient conditions, unless you've massively messed with something. Because look, there's the sink.
Yeah, okay.
So, just wait for it to settle down a second, which it is now, and then do any residual trim you need to do, and then show me hands off.
Okay.
Pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah. Nose is lifting a touch,
but it will be because it's a bumpy day, right?
Yeah.
It's overall that's pretty stable. And that's about where you'd expect that to be for this sort of speed, right?
Yeah.
So remember, the horizon tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
Because one day we'll be flying, and I'll cover this up, right?
Yeah.
And I'll still expect you to be able to fly it.
Yeah. That's what James was doing.
Yes.
A few lessons ago, he had his clipboard over it.
Yeah, he does that. Or sometimes he just turn all the electrics off. Okay. So. All right, we'll overlook the fact that we gained 300 feet because that was probably due to a thermal.
Okay.
All right, but the thing to note now at this slower speed is, what do you notice about the controls?
They're less responsive and it feels more unstable.
Yeah, everything's a bit sloppier.
Yeah.
It's a bit quieter as well, although it's difficult to tell with the headsets on.
Yeah.
And yeah, you need more control input to get the same kind of reaction.
Yeah.
The reason I'm pointing that out is that's really important when you're coming into land, right?
Yeah.
That's why we want to fly that constant speed all the way down, because you know how the controls are going to react then, every single approach.
Yeah.
If you're flying at different speed every time, the controls are going to react differently every time, and the aircraft will react differently.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Right, make a right-hand turn towards the tower at this speed and maintain 2,300 feet.
Okay. Towards the tower.
Blackpool Tower, yeah, please.
Nice. Climbed a bit again, but
lower the nose and sort it out then, reduce the power. Remember, you're flying the plane isn't flying you.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, maintain 2,300, maintain us at our heading for the tower, and then take us up to 75 knots, please.
75.
Increase speed to 75 knots, or thereabouts. So again, have an RPM in mind. It'll be slightly less than what we had set before, because that was giving us 80, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And wait for everything to settle down before you reach for the trim,
yeah.
okay?
Climbed 100 foot.
Not unusual on a day like today. If you were a glider pilot, you'd be over the moon with that. 103 feet.
No. Right, so
Horizon, by the way, is just that line between the sea and the sky. It's quite difficult to tell.
yeah, it's quite hazy today, isn't it?
Yeah. If you look a bit to the right, you can see why people lose sort of spatial awareness and fly into the sea, because it looks just the same.
Yeah.
When you're in certain conditions. We're going to trim for it then?
Speed's a little bit low.
Okay.
But
as I say, get within a couple of miles an hour, that's fine by me. A little nose high to me.
yeah. That big drop of the nose wasn't even me.
What speed did James have you fly the circuit at?
60.
60, okay. We'll stick to 60 for the circuit then.
Okay. So climbing still, but
No, I think that looks about right. I think you're probably right. Again, we're under a big cumulus, right? So that's probably the rising air. So there's the sink there. Just turn right and head out over here, away from these cumulus.
towards the beach.
Yeah, just to the right here, maybe 45 degrees to the right.
Okay. see, I'm either too gentle or too...
Give yourself a break, you've only flown 4 hours. There we go. Right, if you level the wings and let's just see if that's all trimmed down now. Hands off then?
I don't quite think it's ready for it, but it's not a million miles away. Nose up a little bit, do you think?
Yeah, just a little. So we're slowing down, look. Good. That's pretty damn good for me. Good. Happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so put me into a full power straight ahead climb.
Okay. Are we going aiming for any particular altitude?
No, just climb straight ahead. I want to climb at 70 to 75 knots.
Okay.
Okay, continue climbing and put me into a right hand climbing turn.
Right hand climbing turn?
Yeah.
Any particular direction we're looking for, or
Just keep turning to the right. A little bit more right rudder there, I think. Good. Okay, maintain the turn, but I want you to now transition to a descending right-hand turn.
descend?
Glide, descend, right-hand turn.
Okay.
Okay, and now I want you to transition to a left descending turn.
Left descending.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh. Good. Okay, now I want you to stop the descent but carry on the turn. Keep turning, we're going to fly up the river.
Okay.
What a lovely day.
It's a nice day, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, wings level there. Good. So we're 2,500 feet then, maintain 2,500 feet. Just fly this heading for a second. How was that?
Alright. A little bit nerve-wracking, but alright. What did we say, 2,500?
2,500, yeah. I think the thing is, I just want to throw some of those manoeuvres together because you do them all in isolation when you first do them. Aircraft 9 o'clock low, no conflict. Got it?
Yeah.
But in reality, when you fly a plane, you're going to be putting them all together. So you need to be able to do them from any different position, any different orientation of the aircraft.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. Okay, start a straight ahead glide descent for me.
Okay.
Just remember with your descents, just a little check forwards with the stick first. It's attitude then power.
Right, okay.
Not a lot of attitude movement on this one because it's very, very aerodynamic, but it's always attitude then power to start the descent. The same when you're levelling off at the top of a climb, it's attitude then power.
Okay.
When you're levelling off at the bottom of the descent, it's power and attitude together.
Okay.
And when you're entering the climb, as you did, it's power and then attitude.
Okay.
The reason being, you want to always make sure you've got plenty of power to do the manoeuvre that you're doing. And if you reduce the power before you level off, you're going to start to lose speed.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Level off for me at 1,600 feet.
Okay.
Make a turn and you see the nuclear power station on the corner there?
Yeah.
Yeah, just put us onto a heading flying straight towards that.
Wait, give me a second. Funny how bumpy it gets. I don't know how much of that it's me, mind you, compared to the...
No, it is low, it is bumpier down here, so remember the rising air stops where the clouds stop, right? So above the clouds it'll be smoother.
Right.
Below the clouds is bumpy air. But it equalises, the temperature equalises at that point. So, right, so we've got the power station on the horizon. Let's imagine that that is our aiming point for the runway, right?
Okay.
So I want you to start a descent towards the nuclear power station. So configure the aircraft for a glide descent 55 knots, okay? So you're gonna start a descent. So it's going to be attitude, power, trim. You're going to check that the speed is within the white arc, okay? So you're going to raise the nose till we're under, I think, 66 knots on this.
Sorry, hang on. Let's start that again, sorry, because I was concentrating on trying to get us back up to 1600 feet before we did that.
Okay.
So 55 knots, full glide descent.
Yeah, so what you're going to do is you're going to start a descent, so you're going to check the nose slightly forwards, power to idle. You're going to let the speed drop back to 65, then you're going to go one stage and then two stages of flap, and then you're looking for 55. Okay?
So one stage is half flap, is it?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So first stage and then second stage, and then you're going to look for 55, okay? And you're going to glide at 55. Happy?
Yeah.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
So...
Remember your feet. It's only a little check forwards, raise the nose slightly.
Yeah. So raise the nose until the speed drops to...
So you're looking for 65. There you go, okay. First stage of flap. Second stage, and then trim all the way to the aft. Good. And you're looking for 55 knots now, so raise the nose till we've got 55. And then hold it there. Right, now look out the window at the horizon. That is what approach looks like. That's where the horizon should be, okay? Raise the nose slightly, we're a little fast. Okay, so you have to manage it. You are gonna have to manage speed. Don't worry about the trim once you've set it for approach. You're just doing your best effort, but you are gonna have to manage the throttle because it will creep on. Okay? So that's what approach looks like, okay?
Yeah.
Right, full power and go around. So full power, raise the nose to the climb, remember your right foot. Raise the nose to the climb position, get rid of second stage. Just go all the way. And once you've got rid of second stage, then all the way to the front, and then retrim to neutral. Cool. Climb back up to 2000. Always get rid of the flaps in stages because you lose quite a lot of lift when you take the flaps off. If you go from full to zero in one hit, you'll really sink. And if you do that close to the ground, bad things happen. Okay. Alright, climbing turn to the right. The key point of that manoeuvre there is I want you to see where the horizon should be, so you know what you're looking out the window when we're on approach, alright? Yeah. You know what 55 looks like, or 56, 57, yeah? Like I said, I don't mind you being a couple of knots over, that's fine, just not below. Okay. See the two turbines?
Yeah.
I want you to fly towards those.
Traffic off India Zone, sending dead side to 06.
So with the flaps, right, it's quite hard to see the white arc there, right? I don't know if you can just see it, but 66 actually technically is the limit, but it's a lot easier to see 65.
Yeah.
You can't see that, it's printed up here, VFE, 66 knots, okay?
Okay.
So that means you cannot have the flaps deployed above 66 knots.
Oh, I see, okay.
Just put stress on the wing, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay, so maintain 2000, 75 knots, and fly towards those two turbines. And then in a second we're going to do that same manoeuvre again, alright? I want you to configure for approach and set us up for 55 knots towards the two wind turbines. Happy? Yep. Okay, so it'll be the same thing again. It will be lower the nose, start the descent, power to idle, get the speed to below VFE, below 65, one stage, pause, two stages, trim all the way back, and then get the nose in the right position for 55 knots, okay?
Okay.
Happy? Yep. You see any aircraft on your side?
No.
Just give us a little weave. Just give us a little weave so we can see if there's anything in front of us.
Sort of, just like that.
Yeah, just you have a look down there, see if you can see anything, and then come back the other way.
I can't see anything really, but I haven't got the the expertise to...
No, we're good. Alright, so line back up on the turbines, and whenever you're ready, start the manoeuvre.
Okay. Okay, so...
Start the descent.
Yeah.
That's it. Remember, you don't need to lower the nose too much, because it's going to pick up speed.
Yeah,
Raise the nose a bit.
Okay.
Good man.
You want to get to 65?
65, then one stage.
Okay.
Need to raise the nose a bit. That'll slow us down. Remember, speed is on the stick.
Yeah. 5. Wrong one.
And then 2 stages. And then trim all the way to the back as well.
Yeah. And then we want to get down to what?
55 knots. We're aiming for the left-hand turbine, I take it.
Yeah.
Raise the nose a bit because we're still at 60.
Yeah.
Raise the nose a bit. There you go. Remember, speed is controlled by the stick. Faster, slower.
At
Okay?
this speed, it's rudders to turn, basically, isn't it?
No, you don't use the rudder. You're just going to use the rudder and stick together. Okay? Always stick and rudder together.
Yeah.
You're thinking of something else when we do slow flight, right?
Right.
This is a glide descent. Or if you use the rudder on its own, right, then you're just going to destabilise the aircraft, and then
Right.
you're going to fight it all the way down. So always use them together.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, let's have full power go around then.
Right.
Remember your feet. Raise the nose.
Yeah.
Good.
And
Second stage away. Retrim and first stage away. Good, and level off at 1,200, which is about now. The key thing I want you to remember, right, when you're controlling the speed on approach is if you get too slow, right, you've got to stick that stick forwards. And if you're getting too fast, you've got to ease that stick back. That's the only way you're going to control your speed.
Okay.
This aircraft is really, really, really slippery, and it takes a while to slow down, as you've seen.
Yeah.
So you've got to be fairly direct with the controls. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, if you fly us towards Garstang now.
That's build's order.
Yeah. So, sorry, I forget you're not from here. That's Garstang there.
Whoops. Sorry, a little bit uncoordinated, isn't it?
Right, so we're going to head back to the circuit now, and we're going to do a couple of circuits. So, what would be a good idea? We join overhead at 1,200 feet, so make sure you get that sorted out. It's one less thing to think about as we get close to the circuit. And then the other thing is get us closer to circuit speed. So, we want to fly the circuit at 60 to 65 knots, so let's get slowed down to 65 knots soon.
Right.
And then you haven't got to think about it as we're coming in. Okay? And you can get it retrimmed, then it's nice, makes your life a lot easier. Remember, that means the spinner should be broadly where it was there, just pretty much on the horizon. And again, at this speed, you just might need to just massage the throttle a bit once you've got down to that speed. Looks good to me. You get it trimmed out. Wouldn't wait till you're too near the hills because the lift and stuff will start messing your head up.
Okay.
Cool. So manage your height and your speed now. 1,200 feet and 65 knots.
Yeah.
And right in the distance is some white buildings. I think it's the university campus. You see them?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you make a left-hand turn towards those for me.
Yeah.
Now what's really important is that we don't join below 1200 feet, so if we start to lose height, add some power and get back up there, okay? The reason we've got that 1200 feet is people fly the circuit at 700, we're coming in at 1200, that gives us 500 feet separation. If they're 150 feet too high and we're 150 feet too low, all of a sudden we've only got 200 feet separation. So really important you stay above 1200 till we've crossed the centre line of the runway and we start our descent, okay? Possible traffic Golf X-ray Mike inbound from the east overhead join 402. See the airfield over there?
I'm looking for it, yes.
Brown area there. There's another airfield this side.
Yeah,
got it, right.
over there.
Yeah. So we're going to make a left-hand turn. We're going to keep the airfield to our right. So if you make your left-hand turn now, just watch that height. I think you've left some power on. And you want to turn so that you've got the majority of the airfield on your right. So you're going to fly along the southern strip, the southern end of the runway, okay?
Okay.
On that sort of heading there, there's a little caravan park just over Cowling, so that sort of heading there will give you about right. You want 1200 feet and 65 knots.
Russell traffic, Golf Charlie Charlie Yankee Mike, inbound from the southeast, 4 miles to run, overhead join 02, Russell traffic.
Hello Phil. I taught him to fly. He was my first GST pass.
Sorry, I can't really pay attention to what you're saying because I'm fucking fighting with this.
Good, relax. Relax a bit, everything will seem a lot easier if you relax. We're just drifting a bit to the left, so if you just make a slight turn to the right, we've just slightly gone off our heading there. Maybe up 5 degrees to the right, something like that.
How's that?
That's perfect, absolutely perfect. So once we cross the centre line, I want you to start a descent, okay? We're going to descend to 700 and we're going to be making a right-hand oval turn to come back out over the hangars, alright?
Okay.
So it's going to be a 180 to the right, but don't stay too tight because if you're too tight, you'll run out of room to do the descent.
Okay.
I'll tell you when to start your descent. Just come right a bit, you just veered off again. See the runway down there? Alright. You might as well start your descent now because you've gained some height anyway. So glide descent and then a gentle right hand turn, but again not too tight. Loss of traffic, Golf X-ray Mike descending dead side 02. And you're looking for 700 feet. And we want to fly back out over the hangars this side of the caravan park there, alright? So to the south of the caravan park. Just open that turn out a little bit and then turn back in now. See that long barn over there? That's what you want to be aiming for. Okay. Right, as we're joining the circuit, have a look to your left and make sure there's nobody already in the circuit that's going to fly into us, so they will be coming round this way.
Okay.
Relax.
Okay, so we want to be 700 feet. How many knots?
65, yeah. So if you set the power back where you had it before, that'll give you about 65, because that's what you came in at. That was the point, to make it a bit easy for you. So in a minute we're going to make a right hand turn. You see those trees over there that are copse on its own? We're going to fly down towards that.
Okay.
So if you start your turn now, once you've completed your turn we're going to do downwind checks, okay? I'll talk you through them. There's that other aircraft joining. Do you see the point of the separation?
Yes.
There you go, wings level there. Okay, downwind checks, fuel, we've got plenty, I can see it in the tanks, we're checking for enough for a go around, okay? Flaps, one stage please, or half flap. And then retrim if necessary, just come left a bit, you're just towing in a bit here, so just about 5 degrees to the left. A bit more, about there, good. Awareness, there's one aircraft joining, just gone overhead, we've got the right height, we've got the right speed, that's good. Traffic, no other traffic known, and the width we think there's a little bit on the nose, but it's mainly from the west. There might be a little bit on the nose, okay? Not much wind to speak of, so nothing to worry about, okay? That's downwind checks.
Yep.
Russell traffic, Golf X-ray Mike, late downwind 02.
Start turning to the right now or
Not
wait
yet,
till
no. So there's a posh house down here which we fly past.
after that?
And then we turn after that. There's a dike just to the south of it which will fly along, right? So I'll give you the heads up in a second. Gives you a bit more space.
Yeah.
Remember, if you move the stick, you move your feet, okay?
Traffic,
Okay, gentle turn now. There's the dike. See it? If you keep that to our right, that nice line to fly along then, okay?
Gains 100 feet somehow.
Okay, lower the nose, reduce the power a bit. Let's get back down there. Otherwise, you know this, it glides forever, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to make our life any more difficult than we have to.
Well, it's very bumpy down here, isn't it?
Bumpy.
What?
This isn't bumpy.
It is compared to what I'm used to. Where are we? Okay.
Level off there for a second.
So the runway is basically where the dark green meets the light green, is it?
Yeah. Okay, if you start a gentle turn onto final now then.
Now?
Yep. Now.
Seems a little bit soon. Oh yeah, sorry. Oh, yes, we've come quite far past.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I would start your descent immediately because we're quite high. Second stage of flap. Trim all the way to the back. And you're looking for 55, so capture the centre line, raise the nose.
Kilo Yankee inbound from gas tank for overhead joint for runway 02.
Russell traffic, Golf X-ray Mike, final 02. Okay, set the speed. Raise the nose, raise the nose.
Miles too high, aren't we?
We are. So we're going to do something called side slip. Have you done that before?
Nope.
Okay, follow me through.
Downwind
We're going to go.
Russell traffic.
It's a great way of increasing your rate of descent.
Yeah.
Very useful in the Eurofox. So what we're doing is right foot, left stick.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to bring them back to the centre. Okay, you have control.
Yeah.
Right, 55 knots please, raise the nose.
Still miles? Oh, it's got throttle on,
Get
that's
rid
why.
of the power, yeah. Okay, bring in a little bit of power or we're going to hit the hedge. Good. Now leave the power on now, leave the power on. Let it come down. Okay, power to idle. Look at the end of the runway and keep it flying. Don't let it land.
Oops.
Okay, keep the nose up, keep the nose up. I have control.
Yeah.
We're going to do another one.
Yeah. It's funny how it feels completely different on a warm day.
Yeah.
It's like,
Okay, you have control. We've got one stage of flap on there, okay?
okay.
So we're going to go straight into the circuit for this one, alright?
Yeah.
Good, so flaps away.
Turning now.
And gentle right hand turn, yeah, to fly across those trees. Key thing is to avoid flying over the caravans, alright? Keep turning, keep turning, keep turning. Stick in the middle. You're holding the stick to the left. That's it.
Are you coming straight now?
Yeah. Right, little bit of right foot, that's what's happening here, is you're holding the stick to the left and then you're playing with the rudder, that's what's happening. Bit of stress. Right, so
Kilo Yankee overhead.
if you make a right hand turn again.
Runway 02.
Flying for that copse at the end there. Right, you're holding the stick to the left again, so put the stick in the middle, it should be neutral, that's it. Then we'll turn.
Right.
And then roll out of it and put it back in the centre. Good.
Russell traffic, Golf Yankee Mike, final 02. Russell traffic.
Those trees there, so just turn left very slightly.
That one there.
Yeah,
Okay.
the big copse on its own, that's it, good. It's alright, I've got him.
No, I was looking at the runway. Okay, that's why I'm.
So you do your check, so I'll talk you through them in a sec. Russell traffic, Golf X-ray Mike, downwind 02.
Quite low, so
Okay, so you sort that out. So fuel and flaps, we need one stage of flap.
Yeah, should I get up higher brace before we do that, or?
Well, you've put the power on, you can now do the flaps while you're climbing.
Okay.
You can multitask. Okay, fuel, I've checked, is good. Aircraft, one behind us, one on final. You're strapped in, I'm strapped in. The wind, there wasn't much at all, so we're going to start our descent on base this time.
Yeah.
Okay, before we turn final. Because we couldn't get down. You saw how much we had to side slip, which as much fun as it is, it's a get out of jail free card. It's not one you want to plan to use.
Okay. Right, so I've got a yellow house this side. I think it's once we're past that, isn't it?
You'll see the big posh house in a minute. Yeah. Until you can see it, then once you can see it, then you know that. Yeah. And then the dike is just beyond. Exactly. So. The speed control was pretty good, by the way, down the final part of the approach, right? But what you've got to do is, once we're ready to round out, is you've got to flick your gauge to the end of the runway, and you've got to start to ease back on the stick, okay, to arrest the descent. And then you're trying to fly us into that white board at the end of the runway, basically. Okay. And you were great with the throttle. You kept the throttle off. That was great.
Well, I did in the end.
Let me give you a compliment.
Right, so we're a bit lower this time, mind you, but it still did glide a long way. But then I did have the power on, so...
Yeah. Just raise the nose a bit, so we're a little bit slow. That's probably why we're low. Russell traffic Golf XMI, right base 02.
Okay, so... not yet.
You see these trees here on their own in the field, they're on the extended centre line of the runway. So if you turn to cross them, that will get you broadly on the runway. Obviously they're wider than the runway.
Oh yeah.
And now you can see the runway, so you can judge it.
Yeah.
Russell traffic, Golf Kilo Yankee right base from runway 02.
Okay, we got full flap there?
Yep.
Okay, so 55 knots then. So get the speed right, and then you look at what you're presented with in terms of, are we going to land short, are we going to land long, okay? Your aiming point is just by that second dark green area on the next on the left hand side of the runway, yeah? Okay. You're a little slow, so lower the nose a bit. That's better. Good. Good.
I feel like I'm to the right of the runway, am I?
You are a little bit, but you're not. I wouldn't worry about it. You're fine from here. Don't beat yourself up. Don't destabilise the aircraft for no reason. Okay, squeeze of power just a little bit. Good. And raise the nose at the same time to use it to reduce the rate of descent. That's it. Good. Squeeze of power. You pulled it off again. Once you've set it, leave it. Squeeze of power, otherwise we're going to hit the trees. Not that much. Okay. Squeeze of power. There you go. Alright. Just leave the power there. Leave the power there. Leave the power set.
Come off it now.
Power off.
Golf Kilo Yankee final for runway 02.
Let it come down. Down. Hold it off.
Yep.
Okay, I have control.
Yep.
Okay, you have control. There's one stage of flap on.
Okay.
Okay, so with those power changes, right, once you've set the power to get in, leave it, don't keep adjusting it.
Okay.
Alright? If all of a sudden you find you're going up and up and up and up, then we can assess, right? But once you've set power to get in, you're probably going to need power to get in.
Yeah.
Raise the nose slightly and we can use that power to get up there. And when you're turning, make sure you're rolling in with coordinated controls, but once you've got the bank angle, centralise the controls, right?
Yeah.
At the moment, you're kind of pulling the other way, and then you're trying to fight it with the rudder, and I think it's destabilising you a bit.
Okay.
That was for the tape, by the way, because you'll look back and then you'll remember what I said.
Right, okay, so I'm well too
Turn
fast.
to the right. Turn to the right and slow down, yeah.
So where's that aileron now?
You see where you're pulling that to the left, but we're turning right. Why are you pulling it to the left?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm still doing it now, even as we're speaking about it.
That's neutral there. You probably just need more right rudder or more left rudder. You just probably need to centralise the rudder better, right? So look, feel how I'm doing them together. Now that, there, okay? If you find you're pulling it to the left, then it's probably that you're putting some rudder input in as well at the same time, and that's what's causing you to want to do that.
Yeah.
Alpha traffic Golf XO Mike downwind 02. So I think probably came off the
backtracking 02.
Probably came off the power a bit too soon that time, didn't we? So we probably need to start. If we can maintain 700 feet, because we were a bit lower, weren't we? We're on base there. If we can maintain 700 feet and start the descent immediately before we turn, that might be about right.
Okay.
It's a bit of a guessing game. The conditions keep changing, so.
A bit warm in here now.
Isn't it? Is that better?
Yeah, that's a bit better.
Yeah. You can't concentrate if you're too hot. If you need more air, you can flick it round, and it'll give you a jet blast off the prop.
Right.
All these will open as well if you want some on your face.
I'm all right for now.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Fuel and flap then. Let's get that done.
I've got the flap on.
You got the flap on, good man. All right, all the aircraft have landed. There's one guy backtracking, and he's going to be out of our way by the time we get there.
Okay.
Wind is as it was, and we're all strapped in and secure. There's that aircraft just there. He'll be off the ground by the time we're there.
Yeah. Okay, so we're closer to 700 now.
Good. And the runway's clear, so we're all good. So before we turn final, I haven't mentioned this to you before, obviously I've been doing it, always have a good look, see if there's any aircraft coming in, because you don't need a radio to fly a plane. So there could be someone coming in non-radio.
Okay. Well, looks alright to me.
If you're a fan of YouTube, there's tons of videos of that happening. So that'll show you why it's a good idea. Yeah, good. Start your turn, check speed, get your second stage of flap on, and trim all the way to the back.
Yeah, I did the trim first there, which is...
Yeah.
Okay, so then we want 55, don't we?
55. Good. And look out the window and look at that horizon where it is, right? That tells you what you need to know. And now you can be looking at the aiming point, right? What's happening to it? It's moving up the screen a bit, isn't it? So it's just a very gentle squeeze of power, and I mean just a smidge. You don't need a lot.
Smidged it.
A smidge, yeah, it's a technical term. Raise the nose slightly because you're going too fast, and you can probably lose that power now. Let's see what's going to happen. You've got quite lots of uneven air here, you see, so you're just going to have to just keep an eye on it. Okay, that's it, good. That's good. Don't need to move the stick, nothing's happening.
Okay.
Okay, squeeze more power and just gently raise the nose. Squeeze more power. Squeeze more power. Leave that power set now, leave that power set, leave that power set, and gently get rid of the power. Look at the end of the runway and fly me down the runway. Wait, 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 wait. Back, that's it, good. Wait, wait. That'll do. I think we'll call it quits there, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Off the brakes.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Fine, we don't need the brakes.
Was that all me, was it? Or was
Mostly.
What did you do?
Not much, just a little bit of back pressure just to encourage you.
Okay.
That was good, that one, really good, yeah? We're a little bit low over the trees, right? So you just need to make sure you're clearing the trees a little bit better, alright? Not dangerously so, otherwise I'd have done something about it, but when you watch it back on the video, you'll probably see, okay? But yeah, that was good. The thing with this is, as you know, it doesn't need much power to make a big difference because it's so slippery.
Yeah.
but that was the best one of the lot.
Yeah,
Speed control was the main thing. Is the speed control down approach was really good. Yeah, you were constantly in that 55, 56, 57 sort of bracket, right? Which means you've got consistency, which is going to make things easier for you.
Thanks very much for that.
You're knackered,
Enjoyed
man.
that. Yeah.
It's tiring, isn't it?
It's not half. It's so just overwhelming. Not overwhelming. It's just hard.
No, I know. Look, it'll come.
It's alien. Is the
It's a
word.
little bit alien, but listen, there was a time when you couldn't drive a car, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And there was a time when you had to think about driving a car, and now you don't, do you? Right?
No.
And this will be exactly the same.
I was thinking that on the way here. Actually, I was on the motorway and just like relaxed and chilled, and I was like.
Now you'll always have to think about things, right? But what you'll find is you've got more capacity to do other things, right?
Yeah.
I remember when I passed my test, my driving test, and the first time I went out, because the first time you go out in a car on your own is when you pass your test, right?
Yeah.
And then I went to change the radio, and I was like, oh my god, how do people like change the radio and drive at the same time?
Yeah.
Because they don't teach you that on your driving lessons.
No.
So look, that was really good. So look, we'll get this shut down.
Yeah.
So it's transponder off.
Yeah.
Just press and hold that till it
Okay.
counts to 3 and off. That's gone. Same for the radio. I'll give you a countdown on that one.
Yeah.
All the electrics off. Check for a idle power.
Yeah.
One of them off. Press that. Off. That's off.
Always leave the brake off on grass because we drag them around and manoeuvre them.
Okay.
If we're on tarmac, then obviously it's a good idea to leave the brake on. Otherwise the plane might not be there when you come back to it.
Oh, right, enjoyed that.
Good. No, that was really good. I said I think the thing to think about, well, not to think about, but just have you got the briefing notes for the different exercises?
I've got the little book.
Ask James about the briefing notes because he's got some. They give you the theory and they talk about some of the things I was showing you on the board and some of the things I was talking in the air. And when you've been doing that, it'll put things in perspective a bit and help give you a bit of a, oh, that's why I'm doing that. Like, why are we pulling back on the stick? Well, we want to increase our lift because we don't want to touch down too fast. But when we increase our lift, we increase our drag. And when we increase our drag, we slow down. So then we need to increase our lift by pulling back, and that's why that works.
Yeah.
All those things, it will help you to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all really good. Upper air stuff was good. A little bit more practice on speed changes.
Yeah.
But everything looked really considered. It was well thought through. There was no kind of rash stuff.
Yeah.
You looked comfortable actually.
Looks going to be deceiving. No, I was alright.
I mean, in the circuit, I know you were a bit stressed, right? Because everyone is, and you can tell as well because you're kind of gripping the grip of death. Yeah. But overall, I mean, that was your 5th lesson. That was superb effort, mate. Really, really
Thanks
good.
very much.
Any feedback for me?
Not particularly, no. Not really.
Okay. Well, if you think of anything, let me know. I always ask when I've flown with someone for the first time. I always ask anything that's not working or is working or whatever. Just let me know. All right, because we'll probably fly together again.
Yeah. No, not. Everything was. There was no point where I didn't understand what you were saying, or I didn't understand why you were telling me to do anything or anything like that.
And if there ever is, just ask. Okay, because it's me not making it clear. It's not you not getting it. It's me not making it clear if you don't get something. All right.
No, that.
Good.
Thanks
Good
very
man.
much.
Good. We'll do your logbook then.
Yeah. Just grab my stuff together.
Yeah.
Oh.